She dated singer Brian McKnight for 9 years while he was
So,
married. Part 3.
did y'all hear what she just said? Started out using protection, and then condom broke, and then he didn't put one back on. And that's how it was for the duration of the, what, 7, 8 years? 6 or 8?
Yeah.
Was it 6 or? Because I always get the numbers mixed
Mm,
up.
no, it was like 8 to 9 years.
Okay, 8 to 9 years. Okay, 8 to 9 years. All right. So after that day of the initial meeting him, when did you see him again? Did you go to the show the next day?
Yeah, I went to the show the next day, and I believe he stayed in town extra, and I think we stayed together then. And then we ended up leaving. He left and had to go to Miami, and he was like, "You need to be here in Miami." So me and my homegirl,
That's
with
when you went to Miami. Why didn't I go? What was I doing?
okay, so
I'm
you
trying to figure
wasn't.
out why didn't I go to Miami?
I don't know, but that's when I met my trans friend.
Because I remember when you went. I remember when you were like, "He's in Miami. I'm going to Miami." I do remember that.
Yeah, I
Remember,
was
guys,
with
me
it.
and Aviva are friends, so this is not like just someone that I just randomly reached out to and said, "Hey, let's tell your story." So you said you and that's when you met your trans friend.
Yeah, my homegirl that was a transsexual. That's when I met her. And she was working at the club too. She was a dancer too. She was like one of the baddest chicks in the club. No makeup, no filters, no nothing. Just beautiful. But I met her there around the same time I met him. So I told her, I said, you want to travel to Florida? She was like, hell yeah. She was like, I'm from Florida. And I was like, you from Florida? At the time I'm talking to her, I'm just thinking like she's a really tall, beautiful model chick, right?
Yes, because that's what she looks like. That girl is gorgeous.
Yeah. So I'm
I
just like,
remember her.
yo, this girl is bad. Like, okay, so we leave Myrtle Beach. We go to Florida. I get up with him. I think I changed my phone number and
Girl,
everything
wait a
once I
minute.
got to
Look,
Florida.
wait, Aviva. Look who's here.
Who? Is that Ray?
Yes, it's the
Hey,
real Ray
Ray.
Green.
Hey, Ray.
So, guys, if you don't know who Ray Green is, he's a professional NFL player. So he played for. Let me think. Just in case if I ever interview him, he played for the Panthers. That's where we met him initially. He played for the Panthers. He's my goddaughter's dad. Yes, but our good friend Coco used to date him. I think we all dated Ray. I think I dated Ray on a low, something little something. Um, look, little episodes here and there, and he also played for the Miami Heat. I think those are the two. Not Miami Heat. That's basketball. Miami Dolphins. Sorry. The guy that I used to date played for the Miami Heat. Yeah. So yeah. So he has some stories too. But yeah. But Ray, I don't think they saw. I don't even think you weren't living in Florida around that time. Yeah, you weren't living in Florida. So everyone's saying hi. Everyone's saying hey. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Aviva.
On my way,
They're on their way to Florida.
to on our way to Florida, on my way to Miami to meet up with Brian, we stop at her house. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we walk into her house and I'm like, okay. I was like, wow, this is like the cutest young man I've ever seen. Like, oh, he's so handsome. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, and I was
Wait,
like,
what am I
sister.
missing here? Back that up. So you said so. Okay,
So
back it
this
up.
is how I found out she was a transsexual.
Okay, yeah, because I missed that whole section. Just
So,
repeat that.
okay, so on
So
our
you were
way,
used to seeing her in the club as a woman.
yeah.
Okay.
So on our way to Brian, we stop at her house. I think she lived in like Jacksonville or something.
Uh huh.
So we stop at her house and
Sit
I
down.
go into her house and it's all these pictures of these beautiful little boys. And I'm like, this little boy is so beautiful, like flawless. And I'm like, I'm looking at the little boy and I'm looking at her and she's looking at me and she's smiling. And then she said something about her kids. And then I was like, oh, so these are your kids. And she was just like, yeah. And I was like, nah, for real. And then and I was like, this you. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, okay. So I was like, so you a boy, like I was tripping. But I believe she already like had kids as a male, so her having a sex change was nothing because she had already completed her manly duties, I guess. So we leave there. I got all the information I need to know now. That was her coming out to me. I'm cool with it. She cool with it. Let's go. So we get down to Miami, and of course he's like, your friend is a man, and I was like, I was
Well,
like,
how did he know? Because I remember meeting her, and I didn't. I mean, you couldn't clock it like that. Like,
he said because a man knows, but he was like, her body built was like almost like his structure.
okay,
Yeah, because she was tall too, so they could like
yeah,
basically they was looking eye to eye, and she probably was intimidating because he's soft as cotton.
wow,
So, so she probably was intimidating, but yet beautiful. But
right,
anywho, so I was like, okay, so he's really not like cool with her or whatever. And the reason that's important, I'll get to that later
okay,
when other people come in. So I'm like, okay, so he's on to her, so he's alert and he knows, and it's not like, okay, I'm messing with you to get to your home, your friend,
yeah,
your home girl, whatever. I'm like, all right, so it's not that. Boom, we good. So
hmm,
we spent our time in Miami together, and he kept trying to get me to do a threesome, and I'm like, nah, like I don't know these girls.